All right, this next story is the kind of story that makes you go, why? 3 weeks ago, archaeologists dug up a 2,000-year-old sarcophagus from a construction site in Egypt. When opened, it contained 3 skeletons and puddles of red-brown sewage water. There's a petition signed by more than 20,000 people calling on authorities to let people drink the red liquid. For more on that, let's go to Kristin, Romey, archaeology editor at National Geographic. She's in our Washington studio. Kristin, thanks for your time.
Anytime.
Let me start with the why. Why would people want to do this?
I cannot explain myself. You know, all I know is when they first made the discovery, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then, you know, the Twitterverse just grabbed onto it. And I think we live in such an upside-down world nowadays that it just channeled everyone's collective anxiety, right? You had this kind of really villainous-looking sarcophagus in this pit. And after it was opened and everybody was a little disappointed that it wasn't Alexander the Great or some great plague or something, they just want to keep it going. That's the only reason I could think that there's nearly 22,000 people that have signed this petition so far.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the discovery, because we're showing right now what looks to be an alabaster bust that was found in the same location. And that's why people were talking about what was in there and what could be in there. When you saw that bust, as the image is, what did it make you think? Did it lead you to any conclusion?
No, it didn't lead me necessarily to any conclusions. And when I saw the sarcophagus itself before it was opened, it didn't make sense for Alexandria, which is a city that was only founded around, around 400 BC. And the sarcophagus that we were looking at looked like a much earlier Egyptian sarcophagus by the sheer size of it. So a lot of things didn't make sense. And, I was looking forward to seeing what they would find, but the archaeologists that I spoke to, none of us expected that it would be anything like Alexander the Great, that I know a lot of people were kind of hoping.
People were also worried about a curse. You mentioned the sarcophagus was black, and that had some people sort of gave some people heightened anxiety, I guess. But any reason why it would be black, and why were people thinking there could be a curse? Was it more than that?
Well, I mean, you have a couple things coming together here. It's black granite, which is common to make sarcophagi out of in Egypt. On top of that, you have that classic Tut's curse, right? When Howard Carter opened the tomb of Tutankhamun and people then afterwards fell ill. And that's been a trope for movies, right, for decades. You have the really scary looking coffin, and you're just screaming at the screen and telling the scientist, don't open it, don't open it. And he or she opens it and something terrible happens.
All right. So any idea from the people you've talked to who these skeletons actually are, who they belong to, who they were?
Right. Well, what we're hearing from the Egyptian reports is that one of them appears to have a battle wound of some sort on his skull, and they're 3 adult males. And so it tends to lead us to think that these may have been soldiers, probably thrown together in a burial. But this would have been from about the Roman period. This is after Cleopatra loses control of Egypt and the Romans move in.
Got it. All right, Kristin, Romey, I've got to leave the conversation there, but thank you for your time today.
Thank you.